go live. Okay, the meeting is now being live streamed, so we're live now. Now, the next thing that we said we'd do was check that it's going out on your page.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but you can
Okay.
guide me.
Okay, well, are you on a laptop computer?
No, cell phone.
Okay. Is there any way that you can open up Facebook?
I think so. I don't know if I'm going to lose you, but you know,
Okay.
I can go to my desktop, which
Yeah.
I will now.
Okay.
Oh, I still have you. So
Yes.
Facebook. I'm on my Facebook page. I'm on my timeline. Yeah.
Okay, you're on your timeline. Now, is there a tag thing there from me?
No, other people's posts. Should I go to Joe Delaney?
Yeah, do that.
Joe Delaney.
What I'll do is, if I write
I see you.
Okay.
Live. He flies through the air with the greatest of ease.
That's the one. That's you, that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just bear with me a sec while I get my page on here to see if anybody's watching. So they'll all come in later. What I'll do, John, is after this, I'll upload it onto YouTube. So then people who don't have Facebook can actually go to YouTube then or whatever.
Fantastic. I'm going to click on you. So I'm back on online with you.
Yeah, okay.
Big. If my finger would stop shaking, I could hit the arrow there. There.
It's all that swinging through trees that's done it.
Wow.
Can you see me now?
I can. Yeah, and I'm real small up in the corner, and that's okay because I know I'm big, even if I look small.
Yeah, well, and that's the right place for you, small in the corner. Anyway, mate, nice to see you, and thanks for coming on. And I've written a few things about you, you know, and people are saying, who is this mysterious man from Maui and stuff like that. So we haven't known each other long. We've only spoken once before. But how do we know each other?
Pretty well.
Yeah. Where do we know each other from?
Jupiter.
Yeah. So, John, before we go any further in this nonsense, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I think people will be interested and they want to know your story, basically, because the whole purpose of this show, it's called Getting Real with Dr. Joe. And it's really to cut through all the blag and all the bluster and just share about life as you experience it or the way that you see it, mate. So I'm going to hand over to you to wax lyrical.
Well, what's real is I wanted to get real coming from my heart and speak from my heart. So I don't have any outline of what to say today. For years, I've been wanting to speak from my heart without, getting caught up in the mind. So that's what I'm here to practice that and to let people know it's never too late to lighten up. You know, I'm 80 going on 115 or so. And I've had a few trials and tribulations, but so many beautiful happenings that I'm happy to be awake. Yeah, and hope to connect with other awakened souls that I resonate with. Yeah, there's a lot of, so to speak, awakened soul, so I don't really resonate with. So yeah, that's a key factor in the way I go about my life now. It's got to resonate.
Yeah, I'm the same sort of, John. I just go without the energies that I feel, really. It doesn't mean to say that that's a judgment. It's just that when I'm working with somebody or talking to somebody, I get a clear feeling of whether or not our souls are connected, And if
Yeah.
and if they're not, I tend not to spend much time with them, but that's not to say that it won't come round in a week's time and then there'll be a connection. I mean, I'm still sort of learning my way through this, really. And I think rather than go with me head and what I see and hear and stuff, I just go with this feeling that comes from my heart. Now some people might call that intuition, some people call it soul, some people call it what you like, really. It's just living my life through this heart-centered feeling, and I didn't used to be like that, John. What I was a ducking and diving, dodging and weaving, chronic manipulator of people, right? And I didn't know that. There's a phrase that says it's called denial, and denials to me stands for don't even know I am lying, and that's what I mean. I was in this pretentious state, trying to do my best in how others have shown me how to live, and I was failing miserably. Does that ring a bell at all, or?
Absolutely, that's the way. Probably at least 40 years of my life have been same kind of path. But yeah, half of my life, 40 years, I've been a resident of Maui, so half of 80. And most of my life, up until, 1962, I read Autobiography of a Yogi, and that kind of gave me my first inspiration. But then I was back into alcohol and drugs and things like that, and abuse. I was into self-abuse from early childhood. I learned to set some pretty strong beliefs that I deserved more punishment because I was getting in so much trouble. I felt like I was shaming my mom and dad, giving them a bad reputation, and so I figured I was a nasty boy, like my mom used to always tell me, and I became a nasty boy, and I got in a lot of trouble. The last time my dad beat me, I was 13. He knocked me off my bike with his fist, took his belt off, and beat me, and I was black and blue and bleeding. And that's when I really committed to getting more punishment. I said, I just, to myself real loud, I can still hear the voice, I deserve more punishment. And my life really set out to do that for me.
Some people, sorry, John, to interrupt. I just, I can feel this as you're sharing this. I can feel it sort of emerging, and some people in that situation, right, do the exact opposite, and they go out then to prove themselves and maybe to not let anybody get in their way. But why was it you think? By the way, you don't have to answer any questions. I'm just trying to find out, really, but why do you think that you went inwards rather than outwards, or was there a mixture of them both?
Yeah, you can ask any questions you want, Joe. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
But yeah, I think I'm pretty much an open book. But yeah, what kind of got me started? Well, I was born in '43, and the war was really going on. There was depression, so I know my mom and dad were arguing because I found an old letter from right about then, and they're having a tough time, depression, and so while I was in the womb, all this World War stuff was going on too, and I'm pretty sensitive to vibrations. So yeah, I was even stuck in the womb. I kind of relived that rebirthing, and it was utter terror. My mom had so much anesthetics. She forgot to help push me out, and I got stuck there, and it was utter terror. So that was the beginning of it's not safe in this world patterns. And then as I got a few years old, my mother said I was a nasty boy, and started giving me hot soapy enemas, telling me that it would clean me out because I was a nasty boy, and jamming that enema thing up my butt wasn't the most comfortable thing, and I began to believe her that I was a nasty boy. So I got in lots of trouble, and let's see, we can fast forward a bit. So yeah, I went about. I didn't feel like I was loved, so I went about. I was kind of like, I don't want to say like you, but you're very colorful. When you go swimming and you have all these colorful clown outfits on and whatnot. That was me. I was doing a lot to get attention because I didn't think I was loved. So even being a chimney sweep 40 years ago, it was all to get attention. When I moved to Maui 40 years ago, I only brought 24 of my 36 hats with me, and I had outfits to go with them. They all got stolen. And I was going to wear a hat today, but it wouldn't fit over these things here. And
oh, good one, mate. Good. I like that. Excellent. That's good.
But oh well. But yeah, I'm not so colorful nowadays. Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't matter. And let's see where we were. 40 years. So yeah, I had a lunch wagon in 1984 called Jungle John's. Jungle John's snacks, juices and snacks, and on the beach, parked on the beach. And this is 1984, and a guy came up to my wagon and he said, "Boy, Jungle John, I envy you. You're on the beach every day. You have all these bikini ladies coming up to you, and my path of suicide, I flashed in front of me. It was like at least 6 times I could have died, getting real bullets shot at me and washed out to sea and crashed in a hang glider and ran off the side of a mountain on a motorcycle and stuff like that. And it all, it hit me like, wow, I have a subconscious yearning to die, to commit suicide. So 3 seconds later, I responded to the guy, I've got to totally restructure my life. And I quit drinking that day. And then shortly after, in 85, I was still chasing women. And I got invited to help at a retreat with these healers from all over the world, all women, 30 women on a big island. So I went over there, and in between their ceremonies, they were pounding on my heart and doing all these things with me. And it only took, and all these animal sounds were coming out. And it only took about 3 days. And my heart, I called it my grand opening because my heart blasted open. You could see a big red circle in my heart area. And I don't remember the transition. It was just 1 minute I'm screaming, and the next I'm in all this white light, like a bubble of white light, very, very super high energy, nothing but love coming either way. And that lasted for over 2 weeks before the anger and human crapola started coming up that I had to work with. I was really disappointed, because for that 2 weeks I was saying, whoa, thank you, God, I'm transformed, and then all this stuff started coming up, to work with, which I have been ever since, in and out, basically for about 40 years. And I'm really happy to where I come. I found out I really have a beautiful heart. I love it. I didn't know that. I had other people saying I had it, but I didn't see it for myself. People like Gary Zukoff, Seed of the Soul. I had dinner with him a couple of times, and I couldn't believe he invited me for dinner, because I only met him once, and then a year later, he invited me over for dinner. He had a house here in Maui, and I said, Gary, you meet thousands of people. I can't believe you remembered me. And he said, John, you have such a big heart. How could I forget you? And it didn't really ring a bell till some years later when I could see it for myself. And I have a nice impact on those around me. And when I had that experience in '85, I walked in a coffee shop, 2 different ones, 2 different times, and the same experience was as soon as I walked through the threshold of the shop, I could see every individual, their energy raising, smiles where there was no smile before, the energy just lifting, just because I had so darn much frequency with me that it had quite an impact. I had a stronger impact reversed when I helped the Dharma Center here in Maui get ready for and I'm not a meditator, like I sat in with my friends there a couple times just to be sociable, but I helped them get ready for the Dalai Lama's visit, and I had a nice strong criticism about judgment about him. I thought he was an idiot. I saw him in a interview, and every time he was asked a question, he'd just sit there and that was his answer. And I said, what an idiot. So I had a nice negative shield around me. And when he showed up at the Dharma Center and he got within 50 feet of me, my body jolted, physically jolted, and all this energy came up and whoosh out my eyes. It was like I didn't have any way to stop it. It just boom, just for a couple seconds. And I told 3 ladies that the next day, and they were in the line for coffee. and I told them the story, and every one of those ladies said, I had the same experience. That's how strong his force field was, energy field. But yeah, but so I felt like a mini Dalai Lama when I walked in saw the energy changing, you know, and then yeah, just a few days ago I was asking to get back to that level. I had a friend who's just started doing Akashic readings, and you know, I hadn't seen him in 30 years, so I really didn't know what was going on. But you know, I said, "Is there something I can do to get back to that level of frequency?" And he said, "It's still there. You know, you're just grounded with it." And I had a quick burst of joy and tears, you know, at the same time. I said, yeah, okay, I'll buy that. And yeah, you know, he says, aren't you aware of your impact on the others? And yeah, the awareness was there, but I kind of put it off to the side, and now it's back again. I'm really happy to be where I am, doing what I am, and yeah, I feel like I'm going to be around for quite a while. You know, just a couple of more surgeries, and yeah.
Well, I mean, it's I didn't have a clue myself, John. You know, I was sort of entrenched in this this is the way that you live your life. You know, all the information that was given to me came from external sources, really. And what I've realized is that mostly through good intentions and naivety, people sort of feed you with information that actually obstructs who you are, you know. And I didn't know this, you know, people call that conditioning or programming or whatever, you know. And a bit like you, I had a sort of a massive spiritual wake up. And in that process, because I tried to kill myself a few times because I just didn't know what was wrong with me. I had this self-destructive urge. I drank all the time. When I drank, I didn't drink because I liked the taste of it. I just drank as much as I could because I just wanted off the planet all the time. They call that oblivion seeking, you know. And that's what I was looking for all the time, just to get away from it all. But thank God it didn't work. Maybe there's a reason that was still about, I think, probably, you know, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But I had such a big hit. It lasted for about 9 months, you know, and I was like on cloud 9 or cloud 13 or whatever cloud that was,
Wow.
you know, because I don't really do numbers, but I was going around blessing everybody, you know. and in the end, people wanted me to go back on the drink because I was such a pain in the arse, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I woke up one morning and it was gone, you know. And I got in touch with the bloke, he's called a sponsor, you know. And I said, it's gone, it's left me. He said, oh, thank God for that, he said. And what he explained to me was, in sometimes people in the initial phases of awakening, they have almost like a great big explosion where loads of crap leaves them and they feel fantastic. And that's called the honeymoon period. But then they're gradually lowered then back to earth. And then they go through an educational variety then. And that's what I think I'm doing, a bit like yourself is. Every single day, I always ask my heart and my soul, please show me today so that I can understand a bit more about what all this is about. And please give me the courage and the strength to take the actions that I need, not only to get better myself, but maybe help other people as well, you know. And that's where I am. And, you know, I can honestly say, John, you know, I don't feel clean all the way through, mate. I've got to be honest about it, you know, but I keep being told by other people as well, no, Joe, it's a process. And in the process of letting go of stuff, you'll learn more, your mind will expand, and you'll start to understand what this human life is all about. Because really, it's about divinity and finding the source of true power within you. I got a nice word today. I've heard it before, but it was really about the fifth element. And it came to me really strongly. It's called quintessential. And quintessential means, right, can't get any better. It's basically source itself. the essential self. You see, this is what happens to me from an energetic point of view. I've got like a big thing going up my spine now, tingly feeling all the way up my body and out of my head, you know. And that generally means it, you know, I get this, go on, son, you're doing all right, keep going, you know. Give that other fella a go in a minute and stuff, you know. But and I'll be back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it would be good to get a minute in here.
Yeah. Hey, listen, mate, you don't half go on. I think you were going on for about half an hour there.
I'm not so into those big words and coining the words. That's wonderful that, you know, that you find so much joy in them. But yeah, I think I'm a little more into the simplicity of life. But yeah, we did have some common things. Also, you did a little write-up of me, you know, from Tarzan to James Bond.
Yeah.
And the day that I saw your posting on, you know, the Tarzan thing, it was the night before I watched The Legend of Tarzan. And yeah, there's a couple other synchronicities in there, but yeah, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, except I don't know about the James Bond thing, you know, but or the Raider of the Lost Ark, but I am an explorer, you know. I love bushwhacking, getting off the trail and everything. And one of the trails that you and I, Joe, were on was during the harmonic convergence. I heard you say you had your first galactic experience, and I think that's what I had too in '85. There was I was with 5,000 people on top of Haleakala, 10,000 feet up, and we were relaying energy from the Himalayas to Mount Shasta, and there were 16 of us conch blowers. And then 5,000 people were oming along with us, and all of a sudden, I told you this story before, but anyway, yeah, all of a sudden everything got quiet, not a peep, and there's this man walking out toward the edge of the mountain, and as he's walking, all of a sudden he had a cape hanging off his back, and he was chanting, talking real fast. You know, it just didn't resonate as a language from this planet. And that lasted, I don't know, maybe not even 5 seconds. You know, and then he disappeared, and all the sound was back. 5,000 people oming. I don't know how I could have. It got all quiet like that, but I don't have any other thing to say about that experience. That's all it was. You know, it's like, you know, I never got any meaning or any from it or anything, except when I hear other people doing all these galactic lingo things, which do not turn me on. You know, I know it's supposed to be the tones and the sounds and everything, but so far I'm not really connecting with those. But I did have that experience, and you had some experience too. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that was 1987, the harmonic convergence.
Oh yeah, 87.
Yeah. And, well, you know, and what happened to me is it was almost as if my whole head opened up, and there was all sorts of information flying in from all sorts of different angles. I couldn't handle it, John. It was coming in here, but emotionally it was just so overpowering. And what I was doing at the time is I was running into walls, trying to open my head up. You know, it was horrendous. But I see now that what's actually happening across the planet now, it's more and more. There's more information streaming in from all sorts of places. I call it astronomical, astrological changes taking place in the universe. And what seems to be happening is more and more people are being given this information, and lots of them still don't know how to handle it. So almost my job is to share my experience, my strength and my hope with other people, and show them some physical techniques, really, just to try and help them to emotionally process it, really. What are you doing there? Is that some sort of technique you're doing there? Am I
Well,
boring you? Am I boring you?
some wild doctor showed me this. Yeah, helps up here to relax that pineal gland.
I wouldn't listen to a word he's saying, mate. Listen, I know that you're an energy healer as well, and that years ago you used to do energy healing and breath work as well. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? You can say no.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for giving me the place to speak. In '85, when I had my grand opening, just almost immediately after that, I started doing, and I didn't even know of the word polarity, but I was just and then I found some book, and it was like, oh my God, that's the same, same 2 points I was doing, and somebody said, well, if you're going to do that work, you have to get a massage license, even if you're not touching the body. And so I went ahead and got licensed to do massage. And before that, I'd been in some holotropic breathwork shops, which was like a continued breath, no pause between the inhale and exhale, and music along with it. And my session unfolded for a while before I realized, oh my God, I'm doing the whole holotropic breath work also, because I just, had people breathing like that. And, then, postural integration and things like that, trainings, and, it turned out to be kind of like the acupressure, intuitive massage, and people started popping like popcorn all over, waking up. Even one training I gave in Canada was nobody went on to do I called it the Korpi release method. Nobody went on to do the work, but during the workshop, 4-day workshop, everybody woke up and got a nice jump start on the rest of their life. It was kind of like a healing workshop, transformational workshop in disguise of training to do the work that I did. I always said, I have to give this method to others if they have if I have the gift to give to them, if they have if they want to get the gift. And but it wasn't true. It was what I ended up realizing was this was a gift I had, and it wasn't so easy to pass on. But I worked with people in 5 years, and 2.5 in Sweden, and a year and a half in Canada, and a year and a half in Australia. I literally had my hands full most of the time. I was able to write home to my mom from Sweden. Mom, I have a chance to work with the Queen of Sweden. I worked with this Reiki master, and she said, oh my God, she says, I know you can help the Queen with her back. She's a friend of mine. I'm going to refer you to her. And then a month later, I said, anything back from the Queen? And she said, no, I gave her all the information, and it's up to her to call you. She never did, but I was just like, my ego was like exploding that, wow, I might be working with the Queen. But
I think where I'm up to is I don't have any expectations anymore. I can feel my ego going out and starting to fill in the blanks and stuff like that, you know. But as soon as I get further than a day or two, I can feel the old Joe coming back in and all the tension coming back in. So that's an indication to me. If I'm not open and flowing and feeling relaxed, then the ego's coming back in, you know. Somebody said to me that your ego dies half an hour after you do, and that makes a lot of sense to me, really, you know. I think,
Yeah,
you know,
that's cute.
I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about you kill the ego and you've got to do this, that, and the other. I don't see it like that, John. I don't see it. I think that there's a normal ego, and then there's a frightened ego. I think, you know, one that's the defensive side, you know. So this is just the sort of the way I understand things, really. And I think it's always trying to jump in when you're not paying
Yeah.
attention, to be honest with you. So, John, can I
Yeah.
ask you another question? So,
Yeah.
Jungle John, where did the Jungle John name come from?
Well, I I didn't know what to do when I got over here to Maui from Colorado. Oh, that's another story how I decided to come to Maui. But yeah, anyway, it had to do with getting frostbite on my buns. That's when I decided. Yeah, it was 27 below zero. But anyway, yeah, I said, well, first I wanted to open a taco stand. There was no taco stands, or there's only one Mexican food restaurant on the whole island. But it was just out of the question because of the rent were on the main street of the town that just burned down a few months ago. Was just too high. I said, well, I can open up a lunch wagon. So I bought a pickup truck and built a box on the back, you know, to specifications. And what am I going to name the wagon? And you know, back in Colorado, I was a chimney sweep 40 years ago, and also I was in the house painting business, and both of them used brushes. So in the yellow pages, I called myself a better bunch of brushes, and that put me right in the top of the yellow pages if somebody was looking. And but it had a ring to it, a better bunch of brushes, and I was in Boulder, Colorado. You know, it had a ring to it, and I said, what would have a ring to you know, my lunch wagon? And I said, Jungle John Juices. Anyway, that's how it came out. Was you know, I wanted something with the jingle, jungle, and then I got arrested by the vice less than a year later for bootlegging, you know, for selling alcohol, because I wasn't making
good
it with
man, good man.
But I sold it to the wrong guy, and yeah, it was Sunday morning. There was a tent close to where I parked my wagon, and this guy came up. He said, "Can I get a beer?" It was 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. I said, I see two guys sitting in a car over there. Maybe they're come to my back door." And I just went to hand them the beer and take the money out the back door. And this guy jumps around the corner of my lunch wagon and says, "Vice, you're under arrest." And basically, that was the end of my lunch wagon. And but I kept the name, you know, and then I found myself in the jungle, living my name, you know, and you know, I like to be in the jungle at least 2 times a week. The last 7 days, I've been in nature, 4 times, including yesterday. I was in the forest grounding, and I still feel pretty grounded. It did its job there, and the sun was coming through the trees and shining on me, and yeah, I didn't have to do anything, just to be there. So I'm pretty charged up. I bring that nature energy back into civilization, and it just kind of radiates out to others. And
Fantastic,
yeah.
John. I read something once that souls, individual souls, have particular resonant geographical locations. Now, the jungle doesn't do it for me, and neither does forests and stuff like that. What does it for me is the sea and the sand and palm trees and stuff. That it just, my heart just completely opens, and I just feel a home, really. So I understand that individual souls have different places that they like to sort of go and ground themselves and stuff like that. So that's something I've learned as I go along. And there's some places, sometimes when I go into the deep dark forest, it actually has an effect of almost like closing me down. So that's just where I'm at the moment, really.
Yeah, I'm just so happy to be radiating energy and being content with myself, and not so focused on the pain of I had the shoulder surgery on November 28th, and it's so nice to be able to shave with my right hand again. I can do that. There's still some other movements that will come about with more therapy, but yeah, I put the surgery off. It's I wanted to get both shoulders done about a year ago, and then I found out I had prostate cancer, and I thought I better deal with that before surgery, because if I didn't do something, I had less than 5 years. I don't know if I believed that part, but it was like, well, maybe I better take care of this. And it was I was either going to commit suicide or go ahead with radiation treatments. I would have left the body if I had to do chemo, and the cancer was metastasized, through my. I bet you like that word, Joe.
That was very good. I'm going to ask you to spell it in a minute.
And yeah, so then I got another. I was going to get the diagnosis whether it was metastasized or just contained in the gland, and if it was just in the gland, I could treat it, radiation. And I was with a friend for support in the doctor's office, and waiting for the answer. And before I got the answer, I opened the door to go get something out of my car, and this dove flew right up to my head about 5 feet away, stopped in midair, very white dove, stopped in midair, and then made a U-turn. And I hollered back in to my friend, I just saw a white dove. And then a few minutes after that, I got the answer that yeah, you're gonna just get radiation and no chemo. And I thought that was kind of like a messenger of good news. And then I was telling another friend that's a supporter of men's prostate cancer. He came with me to oncology because he knows how to talk their language and ask the right questions. And I told him that story, and he's been on Maui about 50 years, and he said, I've never seen a white dove either, because we have white egrets here, but this was definitely a dove. And he said, I've never seen one either. So guess what? On the way home, we're driving down the highway, past my favorite coffee shop, Maui Coffee Roasters, and guess what flies right in front of our windshield? A white dove. And so, you know, it reinforced my belief and made a believer out of my friend. And then everything was dove. And then July, let me know if I'm talking too much.
No, that's great, mate. No, carry on.
So
you do
July
go on a bit though.
That's okay. I'll get even with you for that one.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
Just kidding.
That's all right.
Just
mate.
kidding. Yeah. Remember, yeah, I joke a lot too. So
Yeah, I know, mate. I know.
So seriously. But so I went ahead with 43 radiation treatments and this Lupron injection hormonal therapy, which I don't think I would, you know, if I knew what I was in for, I would never let them give me that injection because the side effects were devastating, you know, just like 10 times a woman's menopause, you know. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So anyway, the 13th of July was my last treatment. I had this calling in the meantime to go to Scotland. I saw this singer named Dova, with there's the dove again, D-O-V-A. On a YouTube, I saw her chanting, and she went to put her hands on one of the stones at the Ring of Brogar, Orkney Island, north of Scotland, and at that moment, again, all this energy went up through my body, through my heart, and out my eyes, and my body's vibrating. You know, it was quite an experience. I said, okay, Scotland, here I come. And so the 13th of July, my last session, they said, yeah, you shouldn't travel until August. But I wanted to celebrate my 80th birthday, which was 2 days later, July 15th there. But I did, but I didn't go there until August 1, the full moon, and then I came back on August 31st, the full moon again. And it was, I experienced what I thought was on a parallel with what you experienced, Joe, when you went to the Zoology Fest, and you said that you were overwhelmed with the kindness. Yeah, I went over to Scotland with 80 gifts. A lot of them were like hearts that I made with you know, little bits of nature and earrings and necklaces and little gift packs with a note in there that says practice random acts of kindness. And I found the people in Scotland be just like me as far as, you know, kindness. They just took me under their wings, and yeah, I was just totally overwhelmed. You know, I thought my heart was big enough to handle most anything, but I had to expand more to take in all that. Yeah, I was still taking it in even after I got back. You know, it was so much hospitality and kindness. It was like coming home. And yeah, I made lifetime friends there. And so then I got back here, and now I'm taking care of those surgeries I wanted to take care of about a year ago. And yeah, this month I'm still getting it's called a lumbar radio frequency ablation, which just means a shot in the ass that lasts about 6 months to hold back pain, and then they're going to burn off a bunch of nerve endings, and hopefully that'll work. You know, I had 2 lower back surgeries around 21, 22, and they put a bunch of metal in there, big screws and 2 rods, and yeah, I think those are agitating me. But you know, if this procedure takes care of it this month, then I'll just get the injection every 6 months. If it doesn't, then it's a good possibility to get the metal out, because yeah, I still want to do some joyous trekking in the jungle, you know, and painless, and yeah, be able to do, you know, a little more than I'm doing right now. And,
No, I feel, as you're talking about it, I feel very positive about it, whether that's any indication. But I know, John, that we're being looked after in the invisible dimensions very, very well, you know. And I've just looked back through my own sort of escapades, and it's a miracle I'm alive, really, you know, turning cars over and all sorts of different things. But I'm interested, you know, I work in the field of medicine. I'm retired now, or partly retired, but I'm still associated with study of postgraduate medicine and stuff like that, you know. But I'm interested in these injections because I don't knock anything back at all. I don't disregard anything, because I think medicine has got some very positive advantages as well, especially on the surgical side. But I make my decisions based upon the information I receive on a daily basis. You know, I never say never. You know, I haven't got that attitude as I will never say never again, because I don't know what's coming up tomorrow, and that's the truth of it, really. But you mentioned this injection that you got, you know, for a prostate stuff, you know, and it brought on a lot of feminine things. Were you like cleaning up the house more and cooking and stuff like that, you know?
no,
John, they might
yeah,
have to strike that part out, you know, because it might be offending people.
no, cleaning house is still a pain in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. No, but
Yeah.
it's fascinating. We've had the talk before, and I think that there is such a thing as a re-youthing thing going on. You know, a re-youthing. It's almost like sometimes the clock's getting turned backwards. You know, and I'm more capable now of doing a lot of physical things than I ever have been. Really, to be honest, I was born with scoliosis of my spine and congenital hip problems, so one leg's shorter than the other, and I didn't have any metal rods put into my spine, but all my life I've suffered with problems in my abdominal region. You know, I've had hernia operations, inguinal hernia, abdominal hernias, and stuff like that. You know, so but I can feel almost as if it's almost like regenerating there. Now that could just be my mind going off into some fantasy, but it really seems something energetically seems to be happening to me, John. You know, and I'll keep you posted on that one. And I hope the same's happening for you as well, you know, that our cells are being almost like remodeled and realigned to what's possible for us. What do you feel about that?
I think it's very possible. I've actually, I think, got younger in the last 2 days, because the last 2 days I've had 2 different people tell me I'm looking younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they been to the
But,
opticians recently, or
what?
had they recently been to the opticians?
Oh,
Come on, come on. John, I've got to ask you this big question. Is that your natural hair that you've got there? Or is it some sort of attachment that you've put on?
yeah, that's my wig. No,
Yeah.
no, that's me, 80 years old, still blonde. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. That's amazing. Yeah, no coloring or anything, you know, just natural blonde. I've always been attracted to blonde females.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
there you
and
go.
now I'm a blonde male, so I can love myself. Yeah.
So, John, believe it or not, we're coming up to time,
Oh, good.
and I just want to ask you, you know, for anybody listening in, and from your experiences of life, are there any simple, straightforward little tips that you might like to just suggest to people at all?
Yeah, just become aware of how strong your beliefs can manifest situations in your life, actually orchestrate your life. Yeah, just from that early belief commitment that I had that I deserve more punishment. Boy, oh boy, my life really brought it through. I'm still letting go of, I mean, I created the prostate gland stuff, from my beliefs that I was a nasty boy, the sexual stuff with the enemas and stuff, and I really had, I thought I was a bad man even later because I had sexual feelings, that I wasn't supposed to be like a predator, and that the best thing was for a woman to let me know they wanted to get intimate, because if I let them know, then I'd be a predator. But yeah, that's poppycock, Yeah. By the way, after letting go of my cancer, I'm cancer free. I had a visitor that I haven't seen in over 30 years, a couple of months ago, and I'm still sexual, and it's with the feeling of innocence. It's just wonderful, and it's never too late, to get out of those conditioned beliefs that we get created by ourselves or from our surroundings and families and friends, and to stay in your own heart, and not pay attention so much to what others want you to think and what they think about you and stuff like that. It's like just do what lights you up.
Yeah, I think that's great, John, and I think those areas there, the bottom part of the human being, there've been mechanisms put into place really to obstruct the energies from expressing themselves in a natural way, and I think people are more and more becoming more and more aware now of how to release those things in a positive way, because that's truly the creative center that will lead us to that freedom, and I believe that, so there's lots and lots of people now who are helping people to release, in a positive and straightforward way and stuff. So I agree, mate, and I'm going to say goodbye and God bless now, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, and I'm sure that you've got more and more stories to I see you as like a scoundrel, to be honest with you, like a like you're a bit like me in the Heyoka style, because we've got a dreadful sense of humor, but a deep indwelling chuckle going on most of the time, But
Yeah.
no, it's been great, John, and thanks very much. And I hope everybody's enjoyed this. And any final words before we go?
Just to allow the unfoldment to happen. You don't have to make it happen. It's step aside and just allow divine to guide you. Yeah, it's so many gifts come when you let go of control.
Great, mate. So surrender to win. I think that's what comes to me all the time, and what I do every morning is I hand over my will and my life basically to the care of my soul. I don't fully understand what that means from my head point of view, but I know what it feels like, John. And like you, I've been doing this for some time, and I think I'll carry on because it seems to be working.
When you give in, you win.
Yeah, okay. I've got to steal that line as well. All right, mate. Good. Well, thanks very much, and may the force remain with you forever and ever. In nomine Patris, if there's the Roman Catholic in me coming out, and keep in touch, and we'll maybe do another one of these further down the line when you're back to swinging through the trees with the greatest of ease.
Yes, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, John. All the best, mate.
Aloha.
Aloha, and thank you, everybody. And signing off. Bye-bye.